Hi guys, so this time we are continuing our experiments with the live videos. As you can see, today we are going to talk about kits which were reviewed already on our YouTube channel. So I will be giving you the names of the kits and also their numbers, and also giving you the idea of why they're worthy kits to check again and also what might be interesting in them. So as you might have noticed on the box art, we will be talking about 6 kits in particular. Here you can see the first one. It's Eduard Weekend Edition kit here, and it's a Spitfire Mark 9C. In 1/72 scale, it will not take a lot of space, but as you can see, it's quite a nice model which is based on the new plastic from Eduard. It's their own plastic. So as I promised, the kit number is 7466, and this kit should be still available on the Eduard website. What is interesting here is the markings. So here you can see that we get aircraft from 1944, and there are quite interesting, I would say, aircraft with a engaging history behind them. So it's worth to check it and maybe to replicate it. And why I decided to dedicate this whole video to the 1/72 scale kits, as you might have noticed, I've assembled recently the Arma Hobby Wildcat in 1/72 scale. And it just reminded me how great this scale is, because these models will not take a lot of space, and the wingspan of these models is also not huge. So as you can see, there are still plenty of parts to work on. And as for the Eduard kits, you can get a lot of interesting additions, let's say, in form of the bracing sets. It means the resin. You can also get some metal upgrades. You can get some PE parts. So basically it is as detailed as its bigger brother, but then you get a benefit of saving some space on your shelf. You get also the benefit of working on something a bit more sophisticated, because I think the smaller scale is still a bit more complex to work on. It requires some certain skills. It requires a good eyesight, obviously, so it's not for every modeler. I would agree on this, but it also has its own, let's say, perks which you enjoy during the process. At least it works this way for me, so that's why this kit comes first. Okay, I will put it to the side. Next one is surprisingly another Spitfire. So here we have a Spitfire Mark 8. So it's a 1/72 scale, again a weekend edition. And here we get also quite an interesting marking, because I do not remember a lot of Spitfires with the nose arts. I mean, British markings are not that colorful, and I hope you will agree, but if you don't agree, feel free to write it in the comment section. I will be happy to see, or Google for some markings which I would say unusual for a Spitfire. So for this kit, the kit number is 7462, and as you can see, packaging is exactly the same as what we had on the previous kit, but here, as I said, we have a lot of interesting options. For example, this one from August 1945 with the shark mouth. It's quite a marking for the Spitfire. It will be completely different from what we are used to see on the exhibitions. So definitely consider it. And I think for this kit there are also a lot of additional items to, let's say, detail your cockpit here, also open up the engine, maybe gun base, maybe landing gear, and etc, etc. And by the way, what is, I would say, sometimes bugs me a bit, and I don't know about you, feel free to share your opinion, but because all the kits here, and also on the previous box art here, as you can see, so they are depicted with the landing gear up, and still assembly manual does not, let's say, mention such possibility. So if I move on to the next kit, this one, it's Spitfire FMK9 or Mark 9, sorry. So this one is also with the folded landing gear wheel, and still we cannot replicate it according to the assembly manual. So if you would like to replicate it, you have to do your own scratch building. And here we move on to the next model. So this is a Eduard Weekend Edition in 1/48 scale. So this one is bigger. And why I picked it up here, because I mean, as I said, the 1/72 scale, it has its own limits and also own requirements on your skills and eyesight. So 1/48 should be a bit more, I would say, forgiving in my opinion. And as you can see, parts are already bigger. We also have here the P parts which I got for this model. And again, 148 scale has full range of accessories, original accessories from Eduard, so you'll be able to replicate an engine, cockpit, gun base, landing gear, etc, etc. And the kit number is 84175. As for the markings, I think it's also quite a wide choice, especially this blue one from July 1943 from Malta, but as you can see here we have also several camouflages, including the one on the box art here. Okay, so now we move on to the slightly different brand. Here we have the Lavochkin La-5FN. So this one comes from Zavody Prostev. This one is 172nd. I reviewed it a long time ago, but somehow I see that there are not that many kits which actually copy this aircraft. Still, no brand offers, I would say, decent plastic, and this one might be considered as one of the good ones. And it should be still available. As you can see, this one was a new tooled version, and the kit number is written on the opposite side here, maybe. Yeah, so KPM 0035. And as for the markings, as you saw, we have a typical Soviet camouflages, but I think it might be interesting to replicate still, especially if you are, let's say, looking for this particular type of the aircraft, then why not? It will be an interesting build. Definitely not a kit for a beginner, in my opinion, especially if you are expecting a really nice build. It will require some certain skills, some previous experience of working with this type of kits. And maybe there is also some space for, I would say, super detailing, so adding more features, but it will require some scratch building to be done in this tiny scale. Okay, next kit is Lavochkin La-5FN, so this one is CSR, so it's a Czech Soviet Republic. And as you can see, it's also 172nd. And here we have the accordion markings, obviously. So the box art, by the way, is really nice because it's a real painting. I saw the originals and they look really good. They are not that huge, by the way. And the set number is KPM 00838. It's still 172nd scale kit. The main difference here from the previous one is the markings. So as you can see, high Pavel. So as you can see, we have 4 markings and actually 2 markings. This is quite interesting. I remember that it was more markings in such kits, but as you can see, they are different in the camouflage and color and also, of course, the aircraft numbers. Okay, and one more, the last one for today, and maybe that one will be quite controversial because here we have Supermarine Spitfire Mark 9 from AZ model. So it comes in 172nd scale. And also here we have not only the plastic kit, we get interesting camouflage schemes as it's written here. We also get resin parts for gun barrels, decals for 4 marking options, high face noise, and also this kit is interesting because of the marking options. So here we have, for example, the Military Italiana Aeronautica from Bergamo 1949. And also if I flip it over here on the opposite side, you can also see some really unusual, I would say, markings for Spitfire. So why I said it is controversial? Because some of my friends were offering an idea to actually use these decals with the plastic from Eduard. So, do not get me wrong, this plastic is also quite nice, especially if you don't have money to spend on several kits, then maybe it's a wise idea just to build this kit. But it's something what is hard to argue, that Eduard offers a lot more things out of the box. So if you have a chance to get the Mark 9 with extended wings, or note here that we have the chopped wing aircraft, so it might be a good idea to use the decals with another kit, and I use this plastic with the some decals from the Eduard kit here, which we just checked. So that's why I decided to combine these Spitfires. And this kit is AZ7486. It's something what is truly limited edition. I think there are not that many pieces produced, so you will be quite lucky if you will get one. But again, I reviewed it on our YouTube channel, so you will find it easily just by typing this kit number. And of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about whole video, about all these 6 kits. In my opinion, they are quite decent. They still good looking in today's, let's say, model reality, because we have modern technologies allowing a lot more to be copied in the plastic, but still these kits are quite decent and should be fun to assemble in this spring season. And if you have different candidates for the Spitfire build, write it in the comment section below. And of course, if you have some suggestions on how to improve the live video review, maybe you would like to discuss some different topics, I will be happy to hear it. Also in the comment section, I will be happy to reply you. And of course, if you like all of these kits, if you like modeling and video, press the like button. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.